Three, two, one. What's up, man? We're live. I am here, guys, with I gotta say, a fantastic social media content creator. But he's like a fantastic Eagles fan, man. I know some big fans, but here's one of the biggest fans I know, Sunshine State Eagles. Thanks for joining, man. How you doing?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you for having me on, man. And you know I'm always down to talk to birds, my guy. All you had to say was birds, and you knew I would be there. I appreciate the opportunity, and let's get into it.
You're welcome, man. I want to intro yourself to the crowd right now. I'm gonna check our audio, but go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, Sunshine State Eagles, we're on all platforms. You can get us on social medias, including YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You guys already know what I cover. I cover the NFL as a whole, but I put a particular emphasis on the birds. I also run the
Right.
Eagles Nest podcast, which is powered by the Sports Lounge Media. Guys, the Eagles Nest podcast is just birds. I cover the birds. It's on YouTube. It's on Instagram, and we are on X, guys. We're starting that up. Go ahead and go over there, give that a look,
Well,
man.
right
And
on.
hit that subscribe button. We're starting to branch out, get some things. Sunshine State Eagles is the NFL as a whole. The Eagles Nest will just focus on the Eagles next season. We got some really exciting things coming with the Sports Lounge Media, guys. We're going to get NFL credentials and be able to attend events as media members. It's a lot of
Cool.
exciting stuff.
That's cool. Talk about Sports Lounge on YouTube. Talk about that. So it's a
Yeah,
group
for
of
sure. So
cats that talk sports, right?
yeah. If you go check it out, it's a sports governing body. We want to be the premier sports media company on social media. So when you guys think ESPN, you think sports. We want you to think the same when you think Sports Lounge Media. That's the place to get your sports on all socials.
That's cool, man. That's ambitious. So you guys are going to get credentials. You're gonna cover more than football. I'm assuming.
That's the goal. Yeah, we're going to branch out. I believe we're going to do the NBA, the
That's cool, man.
MLB, college football, and some other things, man. I'm really excited for the direction that it's heading. We got a long way to go, but it's you guys, it's the viewers that get us there, and I couldn't be more happy. You guys have blessed me enough to give me a very small platform that I love doing this stuff, man, and it's because
This
of you guys.
man, I dig it. I just want to say to everybody watching, Sunshine State Eagles and I were friends on TikTok. We connected. He grew his TikTok account from what? I guess zero, right? Everybody starts at zero.
Yeah, we
He's at
started at
almost
scrap zero.
he's almost at 5 G's, man. And his content is hot. He's really it's really smoking content and he's putting a lot of effort into it. So guys, follow him on TikTok. Also, subscribe to him on YouTube, or subscribe to the group, and it's called the
The Sports Lounge Media.
Sports Sons Media. Okay, cool. Dude, let's get into it. I like to talk a lot of Chiefs because I'm just hard on them. But I want to actually talk about the Eagles, man. I really want to get into it because I have a lot of Eagles fans that are friends of mine,
Yeah.
more than Chiefs fans, and I have Chiefs fans that are friends of mine, but they're just kind of not just involved like you guys. Like Eagles fans. How long have you been an Eagles fan, dude? Like
Yeah,
forever?
okay. I can give you my synopsis because I have a
Yeah.
really interesting rise to being
Yeah,
an
because
Eagles
Eagles
fan.
fans are so passionate and they're not like bandwagon made up fans. So talk about your story.
Yeah, so I mean, as everybody knows, the name is Sunshine State Eagles, so that should give it away. I was born and raised in Florida. I went to Ohio for a brief stint of time to play college football, and then I came back home.
All right.
And it was a really incredible experience. As a kid, my whole family is Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, except for my dad, who is a Texans fan. It's really peculiar.
I love that dude already.
I don't know
Longhorns,
why
baby.
it makes no sense. Well, no, he's a Houston Texans fan.
Oh, Texans, not Texas. Okay. I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah. He's a Houston Texans fan, and it
I
makes
go
no
with that.
sense because everybody else is Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, and then I'm the only Eagle. So it makes no sense. And I was, one day it all started back when I was a kid. My dad would try to get me to watch, Texans games with him, and I liked it, but I never got bought in. We're all Florida Gator fans in my family, and I love the Gators with my whole heart and soul.
Right on.
And like I get that feeling in my chest and in my stomach when they play. I never got that with the Houston Texans. So I would watch them for my dad. I loved JJ Watt, all those guys.
Right.
But I remember at 10 years old, my best friend, I currently live with him in Tampa, Florida. He told me, hey man, come over and watch the birds. He's been an Eagles fan since he was young. And I was like, yeah, man, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. We ended up going over there. I watched the Eagles, and I remember watching the game. I don't remember what game it was, but I got the same feeling in my stomach that I get when I watch Florida play. And I had never experienced that before. And I could feel it. And I said, you know what? I might be an Eagles fan. So I go back to my dad, I go back to my pops, and I said,
I
Pops,
gotta stop you and say that's how I do my swipes on Tinder. That's how I find this.
that's
This could be
incredible.
love, man. I feel it right here. This is love.
Well, I go back to my pops and I'm like, hey man, I think I'm an Eagles fan. And he rolled his eyes and he huffed. He said, of fucking course you are. And I was
He's
like,
no, you're not.
what? I wondered. I was like, what do you mean? Of course I am. Everybody in the family's Buccaneers fans and you're a Houston fan. And he explained to me, he'd never told me before. He said, hey, you know, your grandmother, you know, she's late, passed away, was from South Philly. And then my grandfather, who I never got to meet, was from North Philly, and they were both Eagles fans.
It's in the blood for Phillies fans. It really is.
Exactly.
We're East Coast cats.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. So I'm the Eagles fan of the family. And guys, I was born and raised in Florida, but I think another part of me was born in Philly. I fit that city like a glove, bro.
I think you do, man.
I can't wait. I'm going to try to go for the parade if we win next season. Like I said, I'm going to make it out to at least 4 games. Very excited for it.
I'm glad you brought that up. By the way, I love the old school swag. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, the OG bird.
I love that, man. Okay, you brought it up. So we have a Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl.
Right.
Have you seen the line yet? I don't know. Are the Eagles should be favored? Are they favored?
Chiefs. I believe the line's Chiefs at 1.5.
Right, which is a wash. Okay, they got to do that. Okay, so look, we have a Super Bowl. A lot of people are upset. Now you're not upset because you're in the Super Bowl, dude. How does it feel to be like you are such a diehard fan that you have from scratch created a social media presence on the fact that you're an educated fan and coaching people and evangelizing like the birds? Like, how does it feel to be essentially a lifelong fan from a little kid?
Yeah.
And you're in it, dude. The fucking Super, like, tell me about that, man. It's awesome.
It's surreal, right? So as an Eagles fan, you know, we have a really high expectation for our team, our city, our people. And we felt like in 2022, we got cheated. Right, we've been living with that for the last 2 years.
Interesting. Well, you're probably going to get cheated again.
Listen,
you're in the cars. You should right now, dude. Fasten that seatbelt because you're going to need it.
Listen, I feel like as Eagles fans, we expected to be here. This is the best. This is the most talented roster we've ever seen in Philly. Right?
No, we got. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about the talent. I like that.
Yeah, this is the most talented roster we've ever seen in Philly. The defense is younger. It's better. We have a better secondary now than we ever did back then. The only thing we've really seen a decline in is the sack total, right? We ended that season with 70 sacks. This season we were somewhere in the 50 range. But now when you have a defensive secondary that is doing what ours is doing, going from 27th in the league to 1st, hats off to Vic Fangio. The dude has been an absolute godsend in Philly.
Really? He proved me wrong in Miami. He thought he was a fucking joke. I thought he was a retread. I thought he was done.
Yeah.
And I was wrong, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he fit Miami's culture like he fits Philly's. He's very
tough a Philly guy. I mean, can you imagine him on the beach of Miami trying to pick up the chicks? No.
Yeah, no, he's an old head that wanted to come back to. Yeah, right. I was say he except for he's in North Carolina doing it now with those
right
with Chapel Hill.
Belichick has okay. So, dude, that's really, you have a lot of good statistical analysis, and I appreciate that. I want to get into the talent in a second, but do you think? Look, here's my big question, and I'm not going to make a thing of the cheating because the entire world's talking about it. And you brought something up earlier off camera. I want you to bring it up about the investigations because I think it's really important because we're being informational. We're not being haters. I'm just going to put it out there. I do want the Eagles to win. I do. But I don't know if they can because of the cheating. This is just me. This is me just looking at the facts. Basically, I think it's the Eagles versus the NFL right now, honestly. I feel like the Chiefs and the NFL are the same team. What do you think, dude? Do you think it's even possible for the Birds to overcome this cheating machine? What do you think?
Yeah, I do. I mean, so coming into the game, you have to control what you can control. And like I said, in 2022, we felt like we got cheated on that last call. But at the same time, we went to the half up double digits. And at the end of the day, you can't allow the football game to get that close with Patrick Mahomes because you know he's going to get the benefit of
So
the
you
doubt.
think you need like essentially a 3-score lead or something?
Would
like
love to go in with a
possession?
2-score lead.
Yeah, I think so. I do think if the Eagles, not to cut you off, but I do think if the Eagles jump to a 2-score lead somehow really quick, then you're in great shape. But go ahead.
For sure. No, but at the end of the day, we can't control the refs. We can only play with what we can play with. And that's we can just control our product on the field. And like I was saying earlier, we have the more talented roster in this game. The Eagles are the more talented football team in this game at every position, except for you could arguably say quarterback. But at the end of the day,
really?
Yeah, I would probably.
Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to bring up. I disagree. I think Hurts is a much better quarterback than Mahomes, skill-wise. But go
really,
ahead. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I think that they're very similar. I think that the gap is not as wide as people think that it is. The only problem is Jalen Hurts doesn't win the way the media wants him to win. He doesn't win the way opposing fans want him to win. So when they evaluate him as a quarterback, it's, he's mid. He's not very good. But at the end of the day, he's got one of the highest winning percentages as a starting quarterback in the NFL, right?
And he's in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's
twice.
And it
he's been twice. And he outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the last Super Bowl.
Dude, the NFC was stacked, dude.
For sure.
Everybody thought, we debated it so many times this year. Who's better, Lions or the Eagles? And you knew. I wasn't quite sure. I didn't believe in the Eagles receivers. They came up big in the playoffs, which, I knew they'd have to. You're talking about Hurts slinging it. Let's just get right to that. Mahomes versus my Hurts, man. That's the question. I'm all in on my Hurts. So you think Mahomes has the edge quarterback wise against a beast like Jalen Hurts? Talk to me about that.
I do. I think that Patrick Mahomes obviously operates very, very well in the clutch. Refs, no refs. It can't be argued that when the play needs to be made, Patrick Mahomes can make that
clutch.
Play.
I can't take that away from him.
He's
an assassin.
And at the same time, so is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts hasn't committed a turnover in 10 playoff games, right?
I did not know this. See, that's a crazy
I believe so. I believe it's been 10 playoff games. It's either 10 or 7, and he has not committed a single turnover in those playoff games.
It's all about turnovers.
Through the air.
Yeah, well, and that's for a quarterback. That's what matters. Now, obviously, you don't want him fumbling the snap. I'll give him that. It's a lot of chaos. It has to be fast, right? I get that. I don't forgive interceptions if they're stupid. But
right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he's just as smart football IQ wise as Mahomes. Now, okay, you're right.
He's certainly the better runner.
Yeah. Okay. So talk to me about that. Like now, Mahomes can scramble. He can. I mean, he's vicious. He took out Rice's knee and didn't give a fuck. So he goes low. I don't know why he didn't get flagged. I guess because it's his own player, but that was a dirty shot. Anyway, it's a long story. But that's why that kind of tackling. I mean, he's bad at certain things. Like he can't stop his own interceptions from going back without that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I do think he can scramble if he has a window. But I think he more will tempt you, right?
Talking about Patrick?
Yeah, Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick's trying to
stay rather than run if you're not sure. You don't really need to spy on him like you needed on Hurts.
Patrick he reminds me a lot of LeBron. So he's looking to draw that flag like he wants.
Yeah, the flopping.
He's
Mahomes.
And all he's doing is he's playing with what the NFL's giving him. So he knows that if he waits to the last second and falls to the ground, that he's going to draw that flag. He knows that. All quarterbacks.
100%. Yeah, that's what makes him super crafty is all the Chiefs. Kelsey, they all know how to do that. Like with that stupid penalty where he taunted and started it. So back to Mahomes, the gun, the arm. I don't think Mahomes has a gun like people imagine he has. Last year, he didn't throw more than the 35-yard connection. Now, they did get longer TDs, but I'm just talking where the ball leaves your hand and where the receiver's at when they catch it. That's important to me. Hurts has a gun. He can sling it anywhere. Mahomes, maybe through time, his game has changed. He's a little safer, I suppose. He doesn't have the gun that like Brady had, for example. I mean, there's no comparison to me, right? Mahomes can't – I feel like he's not guaranteed 3 TDs. I think Hurts could be a 2 to 3 TD passing guarantee, not counting on the ground. Talk to me about the gun. Who do you think has a better arm?
Yeah, no, he could too. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think they both are very similar in their approach. Neither of them really need to throw the football down the field that much. Like when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs,
Talk
they
to me about
want to they want to force you off the rock by having guys like they have speedsters like Xavier Worthy that can get behind you, and that draws your corners
True.
back, right? So when you have a guy, because Xavier Worthy is the fastest football player on the field when he's on the field, he's
Yeah,
extremely quick,
he will smoke you. Yeah, if he gets
right?
a little window.
And that's going to draw your secondary back, right? You
I just
can't
don't
play
think he
man
gets
press.
separation as much as he could, but maybe he'll develop. But
Well,
he
and you
gets
see
a window.
what Andy has done with him is he's taken him in motion so that he's
Mhm.
got a running
That's
start.
true.
A
That's a
lot
good
of the
point.
time, Andy's one of the all-time great play callers in this league, and what he's doing is he's backing up the secondary as well as the linebackers. What does that do? That leaves Travis Kelce, who is one of the greatest tight ends of all time, at finding the soft spots and zones. So
Okay, I can work with that.
yeah, when everybody is backed up like that, Travis Kelce is one of the best at finding those soft spots, and him and Patrick Mahomes obviously have a connection together. But when
Yeah,
it comes to
sometimes he was just wide open the last.
Mhm.
I'm like, how does that in the playoffs? Like, do you think that's just a testament to Kelsey's power of just
I think it's
getting?
because
He's just
He runs Mickey Mouse routes. So like
that's true too. So,
Andy
do
will
you think
show
that?
him. Andy will show him what he wants him to do, and he'll look at Patrick and say, "Nah, fuck that. Watch this. I'm going to show you exactly what I want to do."
But why do they leave him open? It's just crazy to me. I mean, it is what it is. You're right. He's a Hall of Famer right now,
For sure.
100%. Um, so we're not even talking about. Well, let's see. Before we move on to the elephant in the room, the Eagles running game. Um, anything else on? I guess let's just make a choice. I pick Hurts as having better skills and the advantage on the ground versus Mahomes. Who do you think has the advantage in the
Yeah, it
game?
depends on what we're talking about, right? Patrick Mahomes is not a designed quarterback runner. Like you said, he scrambles. Jalen has designed power running plays designed
Mhm.
for him. He is certainly better on the ground. When it comes to the air, I think that they're very close.
Okay.
I would probably lean Patrick Mahomes through the air, but it's because Jalen doesn't need to throw it through the air, and it's going to go into our next point: the Eagles' running
The
game.
running game.
He doesn't need to.
Do you think I should be giving Mahomes more credit for his experience? Because that is important
Yeah, no, he's been there.
as a
That's
quarterback.
why I
I
say
mean,
like a lot of
he's the most experienced guy on probably Kelsey, him. I guess if you look at the Chiefs, it's Reed, him, and Kelsey the most experience on that field. The Eagles are so young, right?
and Chris Jones. Yeah, Chris Jones has a lot of
That's
experience
true.
with
Yeah,
sacks.
Jones. He look. I thought that signing was ludicrous, but man, he did it. He's crying and shit. He's like, "We did it, dude." It is hard to come
He's one
back.
of the best. He's one of the best interior defensive linemen in the game.
So let's talk about the running game. Let's get right to it. Like Barkley is clearly the MVP. Clearly, he's making the biggest losers this year. Obviously, the Giants. They're the stupidest team. That's another show, but it's how dumb they are is preposterous. They
And the front office is
franchised them.
horrible.
Not only did they insult him with the franchise, they let him walk, and then he do you think this is all him like just fucking proving to it's like just he's so motivated and do you think he'll have a drop off or do you think he's the next big huge running back that's gonna do you think it's a fluke? I guess is where I'm coming. Do you think the
Right.
stars are all aligning or do you think this is going to be huge for the Eagles going forward for a couple of years?
Yeah, Saquon Barkley is not somebody that is doing things out of hate. Saquon Barkley was a generational talent. The problem was
Okay.
he was running behind an offensive line that was causing him to have to, miss level 1 and level 2 defenders immediately off the snap. When you play
Yeah,
behind
it's
a
getting
top
tutored.
3 offensive line in the Philadelphia Eagles, sometimes Saquon's not even getting touched to the third level. And we knew he was this good. He's been this good. The problem is he never played behind a top 5, top 3. For us, to me, the Eagles are the best offensive line in football.
Well,
But
they have to be. Yeah, they have to be. Now, the Chiefs are the best holding offensive line in football, but they will choke the fuck out of you and push you down like this. No, it's crazy. But you're right. You have to give a
yeah.
huge prop to that offensive line of the Eagles, man. That's hard to go 18 games and playoffs. People don't understand. It's like a car wreck every play on
Right.
that offensive line. But go ahead.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley is going to be a very good running back for a very long time. He's going to end
Okay.
up being he's already probably arguably the best running back to ever come through Philly. He will end up being one of the best running backs to ever play in the National Football
Do you
League.
think that's why they're in the Super Bowl? Simply because they added him?
I think he
'Cause
definitely
they didn't have him last year, man, and they didn't get this far.
he took the offense and took it to new heights. When you have the threat in the backfield, okay, let's use the Commanders game as an example.
Oh, yeah, dude. Sorry, we got a comment in the from YouTube. I have to put it up, but go ahead.
The Eagles are garbage. That's interesting. I didn't know garbage plays in Super Bowls. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day,
Brocco has been on here before. Brocco, we appreciate you, but fuck you, dude.
hey, you're allowed. Hey, you are entitled to your wrong opinion, gang. It's okay.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
At the end of the day, the Philadelphia Eagles acquired Saquon Barkley, and it took the offense to a whole nother level. When you have a guy in the backfield that you can throw it to him and he can take it to the crib at 60 yards. In that Commanders game, they went 18 plays and had to kick 3. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a long game. That crack pitch on the very first play went to the house. I said, we're fitting to stomp these guys because Saquon Barkley has the ability to take over football games like that. But not even in that. You look at the defense that's gotten better. Last season, we were one of the worst tackling defenses in football. We were also horrible in pass coverage. We were number 1 in pass coverage. We were a top 5 tackling football team in football. Vic Fangio is just as important to this Eagles' success as Saquon Barkley is.
I agree with that. I'm trying to unpin that comment because he's wrong. He's a Chiefs fan. His other comment is Chiefs are going to win it all.
Sounds good. Hopefully we'll see you in the paint whenever they lose.
Yeah, that should drop off pretty soon. Okay, so let me go back to let's see here. Dude, thanks for joining me again. Guys, if you're just joining late, this is Sunshine State Eagles. I'm trying to get that dude, sorry, I'm trying to get this comment off. Maybe it's a little slow here.
Yeah, it's already off on my side.
Okay, cool. Awesome, cool. Thank you. Like it's I still see it. It's kind of delayed. Okay, cool. So yeah, dude, thanks for your time today. So speaking of the comment we got, there it goes, where we got Brocco saying that the Chiefs are the greatest. This is what they go to. No one can stop them. I just feel like it's a cult now. I feel like the fans are overlooking everything that we're seeing. Now, you were talking to me earlier about a lawsuit or an investigation, not a lawsuit. Now, I did hear there's a fan doing a lawsuit, which is, of course. But talk about how do you feel as an Eagles fan about the cheating? I know you're not going to talk about it much and complain about it because that's not what you want to do, right? It's almost like saying we're going to lose if you talk about it. But how do you feel about the cult of the Chiefs and that the fans just think that the Chiefs can do no wrong?
Yeah, I'll say this. I'm not one. I've played the game at every level besides the NFL, so it's really hard for me to go into games and say the Chiefs or the refs are the reason we lost, because at the end of the day, you have to control what you can control and let the
player mentality doesn't do that. Yeah.
Right, and let the chips fall where they may. I will say this. The Kansas City Chiefs may not draw the most flags out of every team, but they get the most game-changing ones. Every single time something happens, and it has to change, like puts them in field goal range, or like against the Texans, the Will Anderson penalty that ended up extending that drive and having them score. Like those kind of penalties happen so often for the Chiefs that I don't blame the NFL for investigating it, because that's ridiculous. But did it cause them to win or lose that game? That's subjective. We don't know that. But it certainly didn't hurt.
Yeah, statistically, now this is where because I used to argue it a lot earlier in the season. Like I was like, I knew this was coming. I told everybody. So right now, I'm like totally resigned to it. Like I was a prophet. I prophesied it and saw it coming. I was like, I think it was week 5. I'm like, this is what's happening, guys. You see this, right? And when I started TikToking about it, started hitting millions, and like people are like I get 5,000 comments of people saying I'm crazy. But now here we are. So that being said, do you think that the NFL is just going to do it? You think they're going to try and not even care? Or do you think they're going to really make it obvious, like let them play? Do you feel like they're just going to let them play and see where it goes? Because the last thing you want is what happened last week to happen in the Super Bowl. Not only one questionable call, like 4 questionable moments. I mean, the Eagles fans will burn that fucker down. Okay. I'm not saying you, but they'll charter a fucking flight. They will get a bus and they will burn that New Orleans. They'll burn it down. So what do you think about do you think they're going to let them play, or do you think this is going to be the same shenanigans, man? I know you're not worried about it as a fan, but what do you think for all of us watching it?
honestly, I think that at the end of the day, I can't tell you what's going to happen. I think that I would hope they let them play. I hope that it's not a flag-ridden game because that kills viewership, right? At the end of the day, the NFL is an entertainment business. They want to make as much money as they can, and
Yeah.
all the flags are going to do is just going to push people away.
Well, have
So
you heard people are boycotting? People are literally saying they're
yeah,
not going to watch it,
they
which
were
I
like, "Oh,
think is crazy. It's going to be a great game.
oh, it's also complete bullshit." A lot of those people that are like,
Okay,
"Oh,
you're
I'm
going to
not going
watch
to watch,"
it.
they're finna be sitting on the couch, face full of wings, watching the game. They are
I've
not
had
like,
a
come on,
face
bro.
full of something, but not wings.
Like you know
The
you're
other part of the
watching.
chicken.
You're watching the Super Bowl. You know
Do
you
you
are.
think
Don't.
those are just like fake fans just doing that to do it? Because I guess
Oh, I'm
that's
sure.
true. Like I think the Chiefs are a fucking bunch of cheat. Like there's nobody that like you can beat me on that. So I'm watching it. I think I'm intrigued to see exactly if they try to do it, like if they can do it. So you said there are 2 refs that are being investigated.
Yeah, there's three that I know of. The NFL is
Wow,
launching a formal investigation on the Chiefs' entire season. At least that's what it said in the email. So they're going to look over all the games to
they
to
need to.
to triple check them, just because of the calls of this year have been horrible across the league. NFL
Yeah,
officiating as a whole needs to
yeah.
be revamped.
Statistically, there's no way that a team can win by 2 or 3 points. Like winning by 2 points is even so rare. It's
They
statistically
won by 2 points 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, which is statistically impossible. That's my point. If you look at the stats all the way through and the fact that the actual offense has not scored more than 29 points or something in any game, and that's rare. They even score more than 22 or 21.
Right.
It's preposterous to think that statistically this is possible without help. So we get it. Now, do you think Eagles fans are more cult like for their team than Chiefs fans, though? Because
The
Eagles fans are hardcore, man.
Eagles fans are the greatest fans on the planet. You'll never be able to convince me otherwise. Yeah, I know. All I've gotten all week on all my lives and all my shows is Eagles fans are trash. Eagles fans are despicable. Eagles fans are this. Bro, look at me in my face if you're a viewer. I get it. At the end of the day, it's wrong. It's wrong to put your hands on people. I won't defend that. But if you're going to take one person, like a lot of you don't know me, you don't know who I am. I respect you if you respect me, and if you're going to generalize me with a lot of other bad eggs, and I get it, Philly's always under the microscope when it comes to the media, so social media is going to make sure that you see all the bad shit. But at the end of the day, if you're going to generalize me and throw me in a group of people and say I'm bad just because of another group of people, fuck you. I don't care. Like
there you go.
I could care less. Like at the end of the day, I'm not going to be able to change your opinion anyway, so I'm not going to try to change the opinion.
Yeah, TikTok and YouTube is just so many hateful people. It's crazy.
Dude, it's like a full-time job. I'm like,
it is like I can't read my look. If every time I read a comment on TikTok, I can't help myself. I attack back and then I get banned. It's crazy. No, I get it. And I think just people like to be hateful, but Chiefs fans, I do. Okay, I think it's interesting. Chiefs and Eagles fans are like I think the most interesting fan base. So speaking of that,
you gotta add the Bills. The Bills Mafia is crazy too.
That's true, but I think they're kind of soft now because, like, don't you think they should have rioted after what happened? They just kind of rolled over.
Yeah, I have interesting thoughts on that Bills and Chiefs game. I think there were a couple of bad plays, but at the end of the day, I think that the Bills offensive coordinator failed them in that game.
Okay.
That's just my opinion on it. Because that last play was a beautiful design by Spags. He brought the that corner blitz on the end. All you had to do, I know I say all you had to do. I'm a TikTok analyst, not an NFL quarterback, but all you had to do was shift to the right, and you had Dalton Kincaid wide open on the 20.
Well, and Kincaid had the pass. Catch that pass.
It's a hard ball to catch. That's not an easy ball to catch. But what I'm saying is, if you shift right and pick up that blitzing corner, Kincaid was wide open on a crossing route. Josh Allen would have stepped into his throw and hit him.
True. And I also think, though, it wasn't a bad choice to throw it that deep because if it's an interception, they're not advancing it. So it's almost like a punt kind of. So yeah, I could see like, okay, that was not a crazy play because he wasn't throwing it where a guy could take it to the house for 6. Like it was throwing it into traffic wasn't a bad move because they had no options. Do you think like Cook was just completely relegated to pointlessness by like not being used at the very end like that? I think
I would have used him more because he was
crazy.
the guy had 86 yards off of, I think it was 13 or 14 touches, something like that.
Yeah,
They were
hot early.
The Chiefs are not as good in run defense as people think they are. A lot of people think they're just this great defense, and they are. Don't get me wrong; they're a talented defense, but they still allow teams to go over 130 yards on them as a team. The problem
agree
is
with that. So that's why Barkley's going to shred them if the Chiefs allow it.
If you ask Chiefs fans will tell you, "Oh, we haven't allowed a running back to go over 100 yards all season long." Yeah, because a lot of people aren't using their running backs properly. I promise you, Saquon Barkley is going to go over 100 yards.
Well, Barkley's an alien, dude. There's nobody like him. Like, he's good for three. Like, he's a guy you could easily put money on saying he's good for 3 TDs. It's crazy against any defense. And you look, what people are missing is the bonuses. This cat, he made 500 G's on that game alone.
Yeah, he's hit every single bonus he can hit except for winning.
Yeah, he's probably got $1 million bonus tied to breaking 100 yards or something in this.
2.5, I think.
Yeah, these guys are nothing motivates an NFL guy like more money. Honestly, like they don't care. So I think it's really interesting with the Eagles is they really care. Jalen Hurts really cares from what I've seen, and I love his mindset from the clips I've seen. I think he's really feeling good about having that offensive line and running game support him. Now, I thought like I said earlier, I thought the receivers had the only weak spot would have been the receivers because I thought they were such a dominant team. Now I don't think that that's an issue. I think it's all clicking. I don't see the Chiefs as a talented team compared to the Eagles. Don't you think the Eagles have much more talent?
The Eagles are significantly more talented than the Kansas City
So
Chiefs.
Speaking of that, when you are not as talented as the other team, you hold all the time. There you go, right? So are we going to do you think the Chiefs are going to hold to a three-peat? Because everybody gets clips of every game of this kind of holding. It happens all the time, and it's never called. Do you think if the Eagles lose, it's going to be because of the holding that's just not called? Are you concerned about that? Because everybody's concerned about that.
Not really, because I think that Jalen Carter gets held every single game. He's a freak of nature, and he gets and it creates one-on-ones for Milton Williams, who, oh, by the way, has one of the highest pass rush win rates among interior defensive linemen because of Jalen Carter. Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham's practice window got open this morning. He will play in the Super Bowl as well.
Okay, breaking news.
That's another guy that we're going to add to the depth of the defensive line. At the end of the day, what's going to decide this football game is who wins in the trenches and who doesn't and does turn the football over.
Which is part of the holding as well. Yeah, turnovers, people don't get it. The two things are big in the pro season, experience and turnovers. It's so important.
Also, our defense has done an incredible job turning the football over.
Yeah, right. So, okay, so we're coming up on our time to wrap. Dude, I appreciate your time, dude. This is a lot of fun. This has been good. I talk too much Chiefs, so I'm glad we're doing Eagles.
I'm always down to talk about the Birds. And guys, again, if you want to, the best NFL Eagles TikTok page, it's Sunshine State Eagles. Go take a look at it, man. I work hard.
Hands down. This cat is growing, man, by leaps and bounds. He's picking up new followers every day. If you're just joining us, he went from 0 to almost 5 Gs, man. What, in like a year, like a season?
Oh no, yeah, it was I went from guys, I've said since the beginning, I don't want followers for the sake of having followers. I'm trying to build the best NFL Eagles community on the app. So I want people that want to be a part of a community and want to interact and engage. I went from 300 to 2,000 in 3 months. And then I went from that to 5,000. In total, I've been doing this for 3.5 months, 4 months.
Dude, it's crazy.
I started midway through the season. I didn't start at week 1.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, that's what happened to me last year. Is I went viral overnight. It was crazy. Like I woke up, I put 2 TikToks up. I woke up, they were both like at 1 million. I was like, what the hell? It was crazy. Overnight had 1,000. I went from 30 to 1,000 followers overnight. I was like, what the hell? It was wild.
The app is crazy.
Like 1,000 comments. It was crazy. Like it was the way I have to turn my comments. It's just so crazy. But dude, I just really am proud of your hard work, dude. It takes a lot of hard work. Sure. Dude, we'll kind of wrap it up here. And this is my last question for you. And I don't know if you can answer it. I don't know. Prediction, dude. What do you think?
So I
don't want to jinx it. So you don't have to predict. But tell me what you're feeling.
I think,
because I'm predicting Eagles win.
I think we're gonna win. I think the Eagles are. We have the roster to win. We should win. We need to win.
Yes.
We are. I think it's going to be 31 to 28 Birds. It's going to be a 3-point win. I think that there's a small part of me that thinks we could really mudhole Kansas City, like stomp them out and beat them like we beat Washington.
I think
but
so.
I don't think the NFL is going to let that happen.
See, that's a really good point because they dropped 55 on the Commanders in the postseason when the Commanders are hot in a winner-take-all game to the bowl. That's not easy.
The first time it's ever happened.
That was the biggest thing I thought people were overlooking. I mean, they murdered them. They dropped 50. It reminded me of I looked at it, I was like, that reminds me of Broncos, 49ers, like 30 years ago, Steve Young, where they went in and just embarrassed the Broncos and like smoked them. And we're like, look, okay. If the Chiefs, if it was fair, Chiefs wouldn't be in the Super Bowl. They're a 6-12 team. Okay. So it's not fair. If it's fair, so to me, they don't match up at all. In a straight up game, you're finished against the Eagles. They're that dominant. Who else has scored 55 like that late in the season? Nobody. The scoring's been terrible. So that's huge. Okay. A lot of it's, they're just clicking on all cylinders and their coaching is putting it together. I think without the help, Eagles win hands down. I think it's 2 scores. But
that's what a lot of Eagles fans. A lot of Eagles fans have it like 38-17. That
I would if you just look at the numbers and look at the fact that all these guys are experienced, but they're older and all these things and all that. But let's say that the NFL, you got to equalize it, or let's say balance it out with the NFL shenanigans. I still think the Eagles, if they come out and get a couple of scores, like you're saying, can still beat. You can beat the machine. You just got to score. Because let's be real, the Chiefs still have to score to win, right?
Yeah, you can't leave it in doubt.
Putting the ball in the end zone for them, kind of.
Right.
But yeah, right. They still got to play. So there's a part where, and the Bills beat them, it can be done earlier. So if you get ahead, and the Bills got ahead of them, like a score or two? Like,
yeah.
That's why I think it was important for the Chiefs to get ahead on a score, boom, like that. I thought that was very significant because if the Chiefs get ahead, that's a huge advantage. So we agree the Eagles should win, but I think it's going to be interesting. Now, do you think, and I'll let you go because we're over, but last question, do you think if the Eagles beat the Chiefs and stop the three-peat, like this is a big, 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 big deal. Do you think that puts the Chiefs over puts the Eagles over the Chiefs and maybe the beginning of a new dynasty? Because I think it's the end of the dynasty talk. It's not a dynasty. I think if they win the three-peat, it's the start of a dynasty because that's how it works for the Chiefs. Right. But the Eagles could put the dynasty away, right?
I'll say this. The last time we went into a game where we played somebody and they beat us, it was another dynasty that people know about in New England. And we put that one to sleep.
Okay.
The last time, it's happening this time. The Chiefs beat us. Now we get our round 2. The Eagles usually make the most of their second rounds. Guys, I'm not sitting here saying the Eagles are going to be designed to win all the time because Howie Roseman's the greatest GM in football. So we are always going to be tooled and ready to go. I think, Kansas City's that same way, but I think that this is going to be a game that the Eagles are going to take personally. This is going to be one that they need to go get for the city. We need this Super Bowl.
I don't think you want to be the team that the three-peats dropped on you. I don't think you want that. Like, right. I think that's super motivating because forever it would be, how did they get the three-peat? Beat the Eagles. And then they're all going to say, this is what they'll do. The Eagles are really tough and they beat them and the three. Like, I can't, dude. So you need to can you suit up and help them win for me? Because I can't do it. I just can't. The Chiefs fans will make me crazy for a whole offseason, dude.
I'm fully ready for when we win. All we'll hear about is if they didn't have Saquon Barkley, I don't care, bro. We still won that. Like I'm not. That joins ours. Like we're not worried about all that.
All right, good. You know what? Good. I'm believing in you and the Eagles. I need your help. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for watching, man. This is crazy. Awesome. I'm Jason J. Daniels, Jason J. Daniels Show. We're going to wrap up. I want to give a shout out again to my friend Sunshine State Eagles, man. Follow him on TikTok. He's pumping out a lot of content. It's great. Also YouTube. He's joining forces on a cool YouTube channel. I just subscribed to you guys today, by the way.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for that.
You got to subscribe to these guys. And dude, I appreciate you and thanks for everything. And you have an awesome day. Take care, man. And go Birds.
Hey, go Birds, man. I really appreciate it, Jason. Thank you. I look forward to talking in the future.
All right, take care, bro.
Yep.
Right on. That's Sunshine State Eagles. He is the man. I want to give him a shout out. Thanks. That takes time for people to come on here and, just put their heart out on the internet. It's not easy. I mean, it really isn't, because you get hate all the time on TikTok and YouTube. The comments are vicious, but I just really dig his content. So if you love the Eagles, got to check him out. If he does a lot of NFL and he has really good takes, and he does like kind of breaking news and he's cutting edge with his thoughts, and he knows the stats. He's a smart cat. So I was really glad to have him on the show. Guys, I'm going to wrap up. Thanks for watching. We're streaming live right now on X, on YouTube, on Rumble. I'm working on Twitch. We're going to start streaming on Twitch. 4 platforms at the same time. It's going to be cool. Guys, my shows are hitting thousands of views on all the platforms combined. Mostly X is a strong platform for me. So thanks for watching. Follow me on all of the platforms. I'm pretty much on everything Jason J. Daniel or the Jason J. Daniel. You can Google me and find my other stuff too. But I would really appreciate if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. Please subscribe on Rumble and follow me on X. It means a lot. And it tells you, if you subscribe, it tells the algorithm that you think this is important and that this is something you want to watch again. And that's really important for all of us. And I appreciate you guys. Thanks again. I'm going to wrap up, and I hope you enjoy the Super Bowl. We're going to try to do more football before the Super Bowl. We got a lot of time. And I'm going to do a lot of interviews as we go through if I can, but we'll still be giving you some cool NFL knowledge. Have a great day. And I want to take the time to remind you that this show is produced by Hollywood Zombie Productions. Have a great one, guys. Thanks for watching.